Well, hello, all you Cadets fans out there. This is Lec Zorn here on AudioSportsOnline.com. In just a few minutes, we're going to be bringing you tonight's game between your Cascade Cadets and the Western Boone Stars here on Senior Day at Cascade. However, before I start with my game commentary, I'm starting the broadcast early so that you can see the Senior Day festivities that are going to start here any minute. And I will be quiet as our four seniors are introduced and honored. Benson Walker, Cameron Ginter, Ross Stephenson, and Bryson Phillips. And so hope you all will enjoy that very special moment. And within minutes of the end of tonight's broadcast, the game will be archived on AudioSportsOnline.com and on YouTube. So it'll be there hopefully forever for you to watch. And just share that special memory anytime. Maybe you're a loved one of one of these players who wasn't able to be here tonight, or maybe you are here tonight and you just want to relive the moment later, and you're watching the archived broadcast. And in either case, it's an honor and pleasure to have you here tonight. And so, anyway, just a moment. Okay, the honors are starting right now. Hello and welcome to the campus of Cascade High School in Clayton, Indiana. My name is Lec Zorn and I'll be bringing you all the action as your Cascade Cadets challenge the Western Boone Stars in Game 21 of the Indiana High School basketball season. Well, coming off their first winning streak of the year, Cascade had a setback in their last game, losing 81-49 to the cross-county rival Plainfield Quakers, a very good Class 4A team that currently has a 17-4 record last Saturday night. Tonight in their last home game and next to last regular season game, the Cadets try to get their momentum back as they prepare for the playoffs, which begin a week from Tuesday. Cascade's opponent tonight is the Western Boone Stars, a Class 3A team who enters this game with a record of 8-11 and having a similar strength of schedule. Now, Cascade's best overall player this season has been 6'8 senior Benson Walker, who's emerged as one of the better centers here in Central Indiana, replacing the graduated Dalton Du Bois as our main inside threat. Walker is averaging a team-high 13.1 points per game, about triple his average from last season, and also leads the team with 5.6 rebounds per game. 6'1 junior Mason Tharp is also having a breakthrough season with 12.3 points, 4.1 rebounds, and a team-high 2.6 steals per game. The starting lineup is rounded out by 5'8 sophomore Steven Alderson with 6.2 points per game, 5'10 junior A.J. Sanders, the football star being possibly the most pleasant surprise on the team this season with 5.5 points and 4.5 rebounds per game, and 5'9 senior Bryson Phillips with 4.3 points and a team-high 2.9 assists per game. Meanwhile, Western Boone is led by 5'9 senior Lucas Morton with 12.6 points per game, having hit 35 of 98 of his three-point field goal attempts, 36%. The Stars have another double-figure scorer in 6'8 junior Spencer Wright with 11.6 points and team highs of 5.3 rebounds and 1.6 steals per game, while 6-foot Cortez Stoudemeyer averages nearly double figures himself with 9.8 points per game. In addition, 5'10 senior Peyton Young averages 6.5 points and a team-high 3.6 assists per game, and 6'4 senior Patrick Schallenberger averages 5.2 points and 4.1 rebounds per game. Cascade's head coach is Chris Du Bois, who's 130 and 201 in his 15th season with the Cadets. He led the team to sectional championships in 2005 and 2006. Western Boone's head coach is Brandon Licklider, who's 15 and 27 in his second season with the Stars. Well, at this time, we'll take a short break for a few words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the opening tip-off. Cascade Western Boone coming at you live. Next. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the Cadets, Hendricks Regional Health, Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, the North Salem State Bank, Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, Dunn Insurance Agency, Jill and Ian Bell's ExpertRealtors.net, and Global Construction Management, Silver Partners, Electric Plus, Bassett Services Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail, and Bronze Partner Endeavor Communications. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're just a few minutes away from tipping off this Senior Day game between Cascade and Western Boone. We got a great crowd here tonight, somewhere in the neighborhood of 350 people, including about 75 people who made the drive from the lovely community of Thorntown, about 35 miles north of here. That's where Western Boone is located. Western Boone has established itself in recent years as one of the top athletic programs in the state among mid to low. Let me start over. Western Boone has established itself in recent years as one of the top programs in the state among mid to low level, mid to low conference schools. The Stars won their second state championship in football just last November. They previously won the Class 2A state championship in 1988, then did it again this school year. And then the girls just a few weeks ago won the Cloverdale sectional, making it their third sectional championship in this decade. Now the boys are trying to get on track. The Stars boys basketball team has not had a winning record in 7 years. They did finish 500 as recently as 3 years ago. but after winning 7 games each of the last 2 seasons, they've topped that this season and are trying to get over the hump and do it this year. Right now at 8-11, it doesn't look like they're going to do it, but it should be noted that they are a very young team and showing signs of improvement now in the second year of under head coach Brandon Licklider, and they should be, should be a perennially regularly winning team in the near future, which is what we've come to expect from the Western Boone athletic department in general. But anyway, before we go any further, before we went on the air, I was visited up here at the media table by the mother of Cascade senior Bryson Phillips, very lovely lady. And she told me that Bryson has a lot of family out in North Carolina who regularly listen to the games. And so I send my thanks and best wishes to them. It's an honor and pleasure to have you tuning in. I hope you enjoy these broadcasts. I hope that my commentary does these exciting games justice. And I have a few personal ties to North Carolina myself. When I was a kid, my Uncle Bob and Aunt Libby and my cousins Greg, Lisa, Chris, and Laura lived in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I have a lot of great memories of visiting there as a kid. And then my stepsister Candace and her husband Dennis live in Wilmington, North Carolina. So always great to get down there to the Tar Heel State. And of course, I know that's one state that that loves its basketball just about as much as we do here in Indiana. And, I grew up with the great rivalry of IU and Purdue. And, of course, down there in North Carolina in ACC country, they've got, of course, the University of North Carolina, North Carolina State, and Duke, Wake Forest as well. So it's a really exciting place to be a college basketball fan. And really, it's a state that sustained its college basketball tradition better than Indiana has. So, anyway, again, hello, a big hello to all of Bryson's family out there in North Carolina. It's so glad to have you in the audience. And it's just what I heard from after talking to Bryson's mother before the game. It just reminds me how thankful I am that Cascade has chosen to be part of the Audio Sports Online family for the past 3 school years. I love doing these games, being part of this community and this school. But, one of the things that makes me most thankful for this relationship with between Audio Sports Online and Cascade is that there are so many, relatives of these players who aren't able to attend the games. Either because, sometimes for bad weather, sometimes just because they live so far away. So I'm just really thankful that I'm able to be a part of keeping these kids in touch with their families wherever they are in the world. So not only to Bryson's family, but to all of you relatives of the Cascade players who are listening, it's a great honor to help you stay connected with your loved ones here through Cascade Athletics. And so it's just, it's getting so, it's just a great thrill taking that drive up and down US 40 about 35 to 40 times a year. Sometimes we do double headers. We do about 40 to 50 Cascade games a year. Sometimes double headers, boys, girls, but double headers in basketball. Sometimes, double headers in baseball. But also, I'm finally going to do this tonight. I've been threatening to do it for months now. But tonight, during the halftime show, I am finally going to, if it's the last thing I ever do, give you my list of my 5 favorite and least favorite moments as your commentator over these last 3 school years. I've compiled quite a list of highs and lows. More highs, but, there have been some lows too. And I'm sure we'll have plenty of both in the future over these next few decades, but I think we are going to have a lot more highs than lows, and we are going to get over the hump and win a state championship one of these days in one or more sports, and make a lot of good championship runs in all sports over the years. All of these programs here at Cascade are well on the way up, and certainly the upgrade of our facilities this school year, the football and baseball and softball fields, and then the joining the Indiana Crossroads Conference next season, next school year, and then having so many young players who are returning, some for multiple years. It's going to be it's an exciting time to be a Cadets fan. So anyway, you've got 9 minutes and 2 seconds left on the halftime clock. And by the way, neglected to mention earlier that Western Boone won the game, the JV game, by a score of 52-42. And at this time, let's see how these teams compare. Cascade and Western Boone have 6 common opponents this season, and in general, Western Boone has fared better. Covington beat Cascade 72-33, and then Western Boone beat Covington in overtime 71-66. Cascade actually did fare better against Southmont. Cascade beat Southmont 63-29, while Western Boone beat Southmont 59-40. Danville beat both Cascade and Western Boone, although beat Cascade by much bigger margins, 78-46 in our regularly scheduled game, and then 71-34 in the Hendricks County basketball tournament. Then meanwhile, Danville only beat Western Boone 67-57. Greencastle beat Cascade 65-51, while Western Boone managed to beat Greencastle 65-64. Tri-West beat Cascade 75-43, but only beat Western Boone 59-54. And finally, Speedway beat Cascade 57-49, while Western Boone beat Speedway 62-52. So against 5 of our 6 common opponents, Western Boone fared better. Now, this is the 16th consecutive season in which these two teams have played. Western Boone leads the series 10-5, although Cascade has won the last 2. Prior to that, Western Boone had won the last 7. So anyway, this is, as I mentioned earlier, this is our last regular season game here at Cascade this season. The Cadets close out the regular season on Tuesday night out on the west side of Indianapolis against the Covenant Christian Warriors, who currently have a record of 9-10, a team that looks like it's about evenly matched with Cascade, and a team that, I think we really want to get that win for psychological reasons, for both because it's our last regular season game, our last chance to tune up for the playoffs, and also because of the very painful loss that Western Boone dealt us last year in our senior day game, winning on a 3-point shot at the buzzer. One of which is going to be on my list of 5 least favorite memories in my history of Cascade sports commentary. But anyway, so it's been a pretty decent day here weather-wise. We actually had a high today of 48, although now a big cold front has come in and it's down to 25. We're supposed to have an overnight low of 21 tonight, but then highs in the 30s through 50s over the next 9 days after today. And highs above freezing every day, so hopefully the worst is behind us. My kids who are in the Carmel school system have already missed 4 days of school. I would guess it's probably a pretty similar total here. I remember, I believe it was the day that the girls played Cecina, that the both schools had the two. No, it was the day of Bethesda Christian, the day of the Bethesda Christian game, that both schools had a 2-hour delay that day. Fortunately, that was a good victory for the Cadets, beginning their only winning streak of the season so far. But anyway, Cascade will, after their Covenant Christian game next Tuesday, their next game after that will be in the tournament in the South Putnam sectional. And on Sunday afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, we will find out when and against whom the Cadets will begin their tournament run. They are in the Western Boone, excuse me, like I said, the South Putnam sectional. South Putnam being located in the lovely community of Greencastle. In fact, South Putnam actually, like Cascade, is right on US 40. You just get on US 40, go west 15 miles, and then South Putnam is there on the southeast corner of US 40 and US 231. And even though Cascade has a modest 5-15 record, I really give them a shot to do some big things in the sectional. Last year, the last 4 years, that sectional's been won by Cloverdale. All 4 of those years, they had Jalen Rose, the 11th leading scorer in state history, who's now out at Utah State, and then they had the first 3 of those years, they had Cooper Neese, the 9th leading scorer in state history, who's now playing at Indiana State. So a couple of Division I guys, and I'm pretty sure they're the only. I'm pretty sure that's the only incident of the of 2 of the top 20 scorers in state history ever being teammates. Really an incredible run, especially for such a small school. And now that both of those guys are gone and there's no dominant team in the sectional, it's really wide open. 4 of the teams also have losing records. Covenant Christian, who's our opponent next Tuesday, and then Cloverdale and North Putnam. The 2 teams with winning records are South Putnam and Monrovia. So anyway, it's going to be, especially if we get that first round bye, we're really going to have a shot to do something. So anyway, I hope you all will tune in Friday at 5 p.m. on IHSAA TV. That's IHSAA TV. It's not going to be broadcast on regular TV. In recent years, the IHSAA TV has started to broadcast its tournament selection shows on their website, and so and then they're always archived so that you can just tune in anytime if you miss the live broadcast. So anyway, hopefully we'll get a favorable draw, and if we get that first round bye, I think we're really going to have a shot to do something, especially if we get one of the weaker teams, to play one of the weaker teams in the semifinal game on Friday, and then go into the Saturday game, the championship game, against a team that's playing its 3rd game of the week, where fatigue very well might be a factor. So, you never know, but certainly, a good draw, a good draw certainly is always helpful. It doesn't guarantee anything. 2 years ago, the Cascade girls had possibly the best team in school history, and they lost their they had the best team in school history. They were by far the best team in the sectional, which we hosted, and we got the first round bye, and we still lost by 11 points to South Putnam, a team we had beaten on the road by 22 during the regular season. So regardless, we're going to have to bring our A game, be ready to go no matter what. And this is a team to a lesser extent than the girls, but nevertheless, this is a team that should be better next season. We do lose Benson Walker, our best player, and we Bryson Phillips, our starting point guard, but we return the bulk of our other important players. So, and also keep in mind that we've played this season without two of our starters, without 2 seniors, Ross Stephenson and Justin Hurst. So, just like the girls, only had Taylor Norris, their only returning starter for 2 games. Of course, she'll be back as a senior next season, and if she's healthy, I think the girls are going to be really good. Even if she doesn't, I think the girls are going to be a good team, but even better with her, obviously. Girls showed great improvement in the second half of the season. Didn't show up in the win column, but if you didn't notice, you weren't paying attention. Unfortunately, I was paying attention. And, so I'm really really excited about the 2019-2020 Cascade Cadets school year with football and then boys and girls basketball. I think we're going to have, three of the best teams in school history.
As we celebrate our freedoms, those who currently
And at that, we'll
protect
pause
them,
for the national anthem.
and honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Tonight's anthem is being performed by the Cascade Pep Band under the direction of Mr. Doug McCoy. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Well, thank you to the Cascade Pep Band under the direction of Doug McCoy for that lovely rendition of the national anthem. And now we got the getting ready to do. Now we're getting ready for the starting lineup introductions tonight. So anyway, and very, very exciting sight to see Ross Stephenson, who has not played all season, is in uniform tonight. So will he make his season debut on Senior Day? My understanding was that he was likely out for the whole season. So boy, if we can get anything back from him, that would be great. If we can get anything from him, that would be great. He never had flashy statistics, but he was a good banger and a good plugger. And if fans have continued to come in, I think we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 to 450 fans here, including about probably 75 or so from Western Boone. Again, Western Boone located in the lovely community of Thorntown. Despite being a lifelong Hoosier, I've only been to Thorntown once, and it was for a sad occasion. It was for Cascade's tournament loss to Western Boone in the tournament in 2017. We lost 48-20. But like I said that night, it would later be looked at in the future as a night in which some boys turned into men. Certainly, the football team was much improved last season and should be much improved this season as well. So it's I'm really looking forward to commentating these Indiana Crossroads Conference teams too. Cecina, Triton Central, Lutheran, Cardinal Ritter, 5-time state champion. Playing there at that lovely stadium there at Marion University. 2-time NAIA national champions. And, what's really funny, is that actually next football season, I'm going to have actually shorter road trips in most cases to Cascade's road games than their home games. So anyway, ready for the tip-off here. Benson Walker jumping for Cascade as always against Peyton Young for Western Boone. Cascade easily controls the tip. And, Ross Stephenson was okay. Ross Stephenson not completely healthy, but I see what's happening here. I've seen this done before in a similar situation. The first, he's not healthy enough to play, but he symbolically received the opening tip. So he did technically get into one game as a senior. So very, very beautiful moment there for Ross Stephenson. It reminds me of the opening of last year's girls' senior day game, in which Abby Church, who had been limited to only 7 regular season games, symbolically took the opening tip off wearing a knee brace. So nice that they let Benson do that. So now after Western Boone misses a three-pointer, pitches inside to Ross Stephenson, and then he dishes over to Bryson Phillips, who opens his last home game by scoring the first points, and it's a 2-0 Cascade lead. So that's especially appropriate after that warm welcome I gave to Bryson's family out there in North Carolina. So hopefully it'll be a big game for Bryson. He leads the team in assists. And now a three-pointer from the corner. No good. Walker the rebound. And he gives it up to Mason Tharp, the second leading scorer on the team. He should be our go-to guy next season as a senior. Now his pass, however, goes off the hand of A.J. Sanders out of bounds to Western Boone with 6:46 to go here in the first quarter. So now handling the ball for Western Boone, Patrick Schallenberger. Now he gives it up. Three-pointer no good by Spencer Wright, and Cascade comes away with the rebound again. Phillips over to driving Sanders, pitches out to Cameron Ginter, out to Tharp behind the three-point line, inside to Walker, out to Ginter for three. No good. And Western Boone controls the rebound. 6:16 to play here in the first quarter. Cascade with a 2-0 lead. So now we've got Lucas Morton, one of 5 seniors on Western Boone, with the ball now. And now we've got a timeout very early in the game to take a timeout, especially with only a 2-point deficit. So odd move there by Western Boone. So anyway, here at this first ball, I just want to, talk about a surprise that I got today when I was preparing for this game. I saw that Western Boone has not just one but 2 players by the last name of McAtee, which is actually my real last name. We've got Andrew McAtee, who is a 6'4" senior for the Stars, and then we have Jonathan McAtee, who is a 5'10" sophomore. And whether they're related to me or not, I don't know. I'm going to have to find that out and do some digging in my family tree. Hope to have a chance to talk to those boys before I leave here. But anyway, now it's back in action here. Drive to the basket, a penetrating move, no good there by Cortez Stoudemire. He puts it back up, no good, and Ginter gets the rebound, gives it up to Tharp. So Cascade with a 2-0 lead, 5:44 to go here in the first quarter, coming at you live here on audiosportsonline.com. This is Cascade Senior Day. So Benson Walker now, 17-foot jumper, air ball, but Ginter grabs it out to Sanders, out to Phillips, fakes a three, but he travels. So 5:30 to go here in the first quarter. Cascade 2, Western Boone 0. Cascade enters the game at 5-15. Western Boone at 8-11. Lucas Morton now nearly stepped on the midcourt line. Nearly had a backcourt violation there. But now a beautiful reverse layup. No good, however, by Spencer Wright. Benson Walker gets the rebound, gives it up to Tharp, brings it past midcourt, nearly 3 minutes into this game. So Tharp at the top of the key now drives to the free throw line. He tries to feed Ginter down low, but off Ginter's hands, out of bounds to Western Boone. 5:04 to go here in the first quarter. Cascade leading 2-0. Definitely one of the top 3 or so crowds of the year in size that we've had here for the Cadets games this season. And now drive to the basket, and it's blocked, I believe, by Tharp. And now Sanders brings it up for Cascade and pitches out there to, and everybody is stolen, however. Now pitched down court, and we got a collision there. Ginter crashed into Morton, who was about to shoot. Cameron Ginter commits the foul. Fortunately, they decided that Morton was not in the act of shooting. So now a hook shot there. He is good there by Wright, and he was fouled, and he's going to the line for a potential three-point play here. It's going to be on Walker. We got to keep him out of foul trouble. I think Benson's going to have a good game for us to have a chance. Walker with a 4-inch height advantage over anybody that Western Boone has. He used that height advantage very well in his last home game against Eminence a week ago tonight, scoring a career-high 29. Hopefully history will repeat itself tonight as Wright hits the completes the three-point play, and Western Boone takes its first lead here almost midway through the first quarter. It's 3-2, Stars over the Cadets. So Phillips with the ball now. Over to Ginter. Sanders. Over to Ginter. Right behind the three-point line. Now over to Sanders. Inside to Walker. Posts up, puts off the glass, and he hits it. So Benson Walker scores his first points here on his senior day, and Cascade goes back up by a score of 4-3. So now Wright fakes the three. He drives into the lane, almost loses it, but he pitches out for a three-pointer from the corner. Air ball. Tharp the rebound, brings it up fast. Loses control, but now it's stolen away, and we got a 2-on-2 fast break. And however, Peyton Young, he loses control of it. It goes out of bounds to Cascade. So good break for the Cadets, who have a 1-point lead in the ball. 3:34 to go here in the first quarter. It would be great if Cascade were to get this win. It would give them 3 out of 4. Winning 3 out of 4 games after that 3-14 start. Well, when Ross Stephenson, when I saw him dressed, I was hopeful. That meant he was healthy. It wasn't to be, but I'm so glad that, they honored him that way. So now we got the first foul of the game against Western Boone, coming with 3:22 to go here in the first quarter. It's going to be on Schallenberger, his first. So now inside to Walker. Now he drives the baseline, puts it up, no good, knocked out of bounds to Cascade, 3:17 on the clock. Speaking of 3:17, of course, that reminds me of St. Patrick's Day, which we're just 30 days away from. One of my favorite days of the year, along with Christmas and the Indianapolis 500 Day. So now inside to Walker at the baseline, out to Ginter, nearly stolen. But he gets it over to Phillips, fakes a three, drives, puts it up, and he hits it. So Bryson Phillips with 4 points, and it's a 6-3 Cascade lead. Western Boone probably would have been about a 10 to 15 point favorite in this game, but Cascade has the upper hand early. And now drive to the basket. Now beautiful feed there. It looked like Young was going to shoot, but he gave it over to Schallenberger, who laid it in, and cutting the lead to 1 here. 6'5" Cadets, 237. Good shining number there to go in the first quarter. Now Cameron Ginter there at the right perimeter, pitches out to Walker for 3. He hit it! Yes! Yes! Benson Walker with a game-high 5, and it's a 9-5 Cascade lead. All the scoring so far coming from the seniors. Walker with 5, Phillips with 4. Now free throw line jumper, no good there by Wright. Western Boone the rebound, however. And now Wright gets it back. Wide open for 3. He doesn't shoot it, though. He pitches across court to Staudemeyer. Now pitches back to a driving Wright, who misses it, and Cascade controls the rebound. Phillips with the ball now, under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Walker fakes a 3, now over to Dane DuBois, the sophomore newly into the game. Now out to Sanders. So Sanders now over to Phillips in the right corner, now out to Sanders at the right perimeter. Drives, puts it up off the glass, no good. Rebound by Schallenberger. And now gives it down to Staudemeyer, no good. Western Boone missing a lot of short-range shots tonight. And now Cascade takes a timeout with 1:27 to go here in the first quarter and a 9-5 lead. It's been a game in which Western Boone has played well overall, but their shots just haven't been falling, and Cascade has taken advantage well enough. Benson Walker has 5 points, including a 3-point field goal, while Bryson Phillips has 4. Meanwhile, for Western Boone, Spencer Wright has 3. Patrick Schallenberger has 2. So, I think it's very important that Cascade stay ahead in this game, because the Cadets, they just play, it's just so much easier. It's like, I think it was Reagan who, and I'm not trying to make a political endorsement here, but I believe it was Reagan who said that you can't negotiate from a position of weakness. So, when you, when you're ahead, you just have much more options, and, you have a full range of options, and you're at the mercy of a lot, fewer variables. So now Tharp with the 3, no good. Rebound there by Connor Hull. That's Hole, like a hole in the ground. And now drive to the basket, puts it up, no good. Tipped out, however, as a really good aggressive tip out to Peyton Young, now who's guarded by Tharp. 59 seconds to go in the first quarter. Now Cascade is still with a 9-5 lead. Now he gives it up to Hull. Inside, a beautiful turnaround jump shot, no good, however. And now Bryson Phillips brings it up. The senior been very active here on his senior day. Over to A.J. Sanders now. Wild pass, but Tharp saves it. 40 seconds to go now in the first quarter. Cascade very well could hold for the last shot. So Sanders with the ball at the right perimeter now. Pitches out. Now it's nearly stolen. Phillips tries to save it. And, okay, good break for the Cadets. Hull got it, but he moved his feet while he was lying on the ground. Travel, and Cascade very lucky to get the ball back. 24.4 seconds to go in the first quarter, and a 9-5 lead here on Senior Day. Our next broadcast, our next broadcast will be in the sectional either a week from Tuesday or 2 weeks from tonight, depending on whether we get the first round bye or not. We will know by Sunday evening. So now 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Phillips at the top of the key, but he travels. Phillips has 4 points for Cascade, but that's his second turnover here in the first quarter on his senior day. And now Benson Walker with 1 foul returning, and Phillips sitting down. 8.9 seconds to go. It'd be great if Cascade entered the second quarter with a multiple possession lead. So now 3 seconds to go. And now across court there, and a 3-pointer at the buzzer is good. That was Adam Pratt. So Cascade not going into the second quarter with as much momentum as I hope. Nevertheless, they do have the lead, 9-8 here on Senior Day. Cascade over Western Boone. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their support. The official health provider to the Cadets, Hendricks Regional Health. Diamond Partners, Best Way Drywall, the North Salem State Bank. Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, Dunn Insurance Agency. Jill, Andy and Bell's Expert Realtors.net and Global Construction Management. Silver Partners, Electric Plus, Bassett Services, Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail. And Bronze Partner, Endeavor Communications. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're about to start the second quarter of Cascade Senior Day with your Cascade Cadets leading the Western Boone Stars by a score of 9-8. It's a game in which Cascade has largely been lucky that Western Boone has missed a lot of short-range shots. However, the Stars did hit a 3-pointer at the buzzer by Adam Pratt to cut the lead to 1. Western Boone has led only once in the game. That was by a score of 3-2. And the Stars get the ball first to start the second quarter. So now a drive to the basket and a 3-pointer there. Another 3-pointer. This one no good, however, by Pratt. AJ gets the rebound, gives it up to to Tharp, to Mason Tharp of Cascade. Now gives it over to Dane DuBois at the left perimeter, back to Sanders at the top of the key. Now Sanders takes a few steps back near midcourt. Better be careful better be careful so that he doesn't step on the midcourt line. So now Sanders with the ball. Over to Tharp, inside to Walker, posts up, turn around, and he's fouled with 7:16 to go. So Benson Walker will go to the line for 2. He has a game-high 5. This is his final home game. Benson Walker with a breakthrough senior season. He leads the team in both points and rebounds. Certainly, his his college stock has gone way up this year. And he hits it. He swishes it. So Walker with 6 now, and we got the lead back up to 2. Oh, and by the way, to answer a question I just got, both Ross Stephenson and Justin Hurst have missed the season because of knee injuries. So Walker with 7 now on his senior day. His last home game, he got a career-high 29. Maybe he'll top that today. If he does, I think we're going to have an excellent shot to win. Right now it's an 11-8 Cascade lead. Now Young puts it up, no good, but he puts it back up and in. So Peyton Young very aggressive, getting his first points there, and it's an 11-10 Cascade lead. 4 different stars have scored so far. So now Sanders with the ball. Over to DuBois, over to Walker now. Cascade taking his time. Walker drives to the basket now, but pitches out to three-pointer, no good by Gavin Hetler, the backup center, who's had some good moments off the bench lately. And now drive to the basket by Peyton Young, and he hits it. And the Stars go back on top, 12-11. Their only previous lead was 3-2. Cascade's got to be careful. You got to, get that lead back. Can't let down our guard, not for a second. Western Boone's being very aggressive. They'll eat us alive if we give them the chance. And now a drive to the basket, and I think they're going to get. I think they're going to get Pratt for a reach in on Tharp. Yeah, it is going to be on Pratt. His first, team third. Now Phillips and Ginter coming in. Hetler and DuBois coming out. So now Phillips drives to the basket. It's blocked by Morton, out of bounds to Cascade. With 5:53 to go here in the second quarter. Western Boone 12, Cascade 11. Coming at you live here on Senior Day. So now Tharp with the ball. And gives it, practically hands it off to Walker. Posts up, turns around, puts it up at the glass. No good. And it was Andrew McAtee who came up with the ball. And now we got a three-pointer there. Is good. That's by Connor Hull. He becomes the 5th player to score. And now suddenly Western Boone on a 7-0 run. So things starting to get concerning. Now inside to Walker, posts up, and he puts it off the glass and he hits it. So cutting the lead back to 1. Benson Walker with a game-high 9. Cutting the lead to 2 now. And now a fight over a loose ball here. And it's a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Cascade with 5:04 to go. So a lot to like about Cascade's performance tonight. But Western Boone did go on a 7-0 run to take the lead. Now Cascade's trying to tie, or they can tie with the 2, take a lead with the 3. And now got a collision here, and let's see what the call is. It's going to be on Cascade, on Walker. Oh no, that's his second. his second, and we're not yet a quarter and a half into this game. Walker sits down. Du Bois comes in. That's a big concern, having Walker on the bench with foul trouble this early. Without Walker playing a lot tonight, I don't think we have much of a chance. He has 9 points, 9 of our 13. Phillips has the other 4. So now, Hull with another 3, and he hits it. So Hull has hit 2 consecutive 3-point shots now to push the lead up to 5. That's a game-high lead. And now Ginter puts it up, no good. Rebound by Schallenberger. And Tharp going hard after the steal, but doesn't get it. Good effort, though. So now beautiful penetrating move there. And Spencer Wright scores. He has 5 now, and we got a timeout as this game's starting to slip away. Western Boone now leading 20 to 13. The Stars are now on a 12-2 run. So this is very concerning, and we're going to have to. I think we're going to have to get Benson back in the game soon. You know, he's our one player for whom Western Boone does not have a good answer. At 6'8", you know, he has a very big size advantage over anybody that the Stars have. Other than that, we don't have a lot of size at all. You know, Alderson, you know, at 5'8", Phillips at 5'9", you know, Tharp and Ginter, you know, are other 2 starters, 6'1" and 6'2", so, you know. And, you know, hopefully, you know, Frank Layden, the longtime head coach of the Utah Jazz, famously said you can't coach height. And one misfortune that you often have when you're a small school is you just don't have a lot of height. And there's nothing you can do about it. So we have to make the most of the one tall player we do have. Well, the one tall starter we have, you know, Hetler. He's showing some good moments off the bench lately. He's a good size at 6'5" as well. He's going to be our go-to guy in the middle next season. So now Tharp with the ball, pitches out to Sanders. Back to Tharp for 3. No good. And rebound there, I believe it was Hull who got it. He's scored 6 points all on 3-pointers here in this quarter. Now he gives it over to Wright. Western Boone with the ball. Now 3:51 to go here in the second quarter, and a 20-15 lead over Cascade. So now Stoudemeyer pitches out for 3-pointer. No good. However, it's put up and no good there. And now put back up and in there by Spencer Wright, who got 2 offensive rebounds, put up 2 shots, and the last one fell. Wright with a team-high 7 now, and Western Boone now on Western Boone on a 14-2 run. They lead 22-13, a game-high 9-point lead. And now Phillips travels again, and he pounds the ball on the court in fury. And Western Boone very balanced as well. Already 5 players have scored. Only 2 players, by contrast, have scored for Cascade. And now drive to the basket and lay in there by Hull, who that's his first 2-pointer of the game. He has 8 now, and it's a 24-13 lead by the Stars now. Cascade led most of the first quarter, but it's been an all-out collapse in the second quarter, largely because of the absence of Benson Walker, who's on the bench with 2 fouls. Now Du Bois for 3, no good. And now a rebound there by Pratt. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Now Ginter and Tharp are doing a double team there on Stoudemeyer. All right. So Stoudemeyer with the ball, guarded by Tharp. Gives it up to Schallenberger. Now out to Wright. This is a very balanced Western Boone team. Now a three-pointer there by Pratt, and he hits it. His second successful three of the game. He and Hull have two successful threes apiece, and it's a 27-13 Western Boone lead now. 19-2 run for the Stars. And now we got a collision there between Du Bois and Hull. Let's see how they call it. So now Ginter sitting down, Walker back in, and we need him. We need him. I mean, basically, you look at all the offensive rebounds, and now we got a whistle here, but all the offensive rebounds that Western Boone has gotten while Benson has been on the bench. All the offensive rebounds and inside shots that Western Boone very well might not have gotten had Walker been in the game. So Stoudemire with the ball, a minute two to go in the half. 27-13 Western Boone lead. Cascade in trouble. Oh, and now a miscommunication. Schallenberger threw to Stoudemire, who didn't see it coming at all. It actually hit Stoudemire on the back of the head, and it went out of bounds to Cascade. So lucky break for the Cadets. Hopefully we'll take advantage of it. 50 seconds to go here in the second quarter. We trail by 14. Western Boone on a 19-2 run here since Cascade had an 11-8 lead. And now Tharp puts it in. So Mason Tharp, the first non-senior to score for Cascade tonight, cutting it to 12, 32 seconds to go. Mason Tharp, the second leading scorer on the season. He's been the leading scorer for a lot of the season, but Walker's been on a scoring surge lately. Now Western Boone very possibly holding for the last shot with a 12-point lead here, 21 seconds to go in the half. Pratt with the ball near the midcourt line, double-teamed now. Pitches over to Stoudemire, who nearly stepped on the midcourt line. 10 seconds to go now. Now a near steal there. And now Hull with the ball now. And now a long three. Oh, my God, he hit it. And that's the end of the half. So Connor Hull comes off the bench for 11 points in the second quarter. And the Stars close out on a 22-2 run, leading, or 22-4 run, excuse me, leading Cascade 30-15 here on Senior Day. So we'll be back with the recap and my special halftime feature on my favorite and least favorite moments in my 3-year Cascade commentary career after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the Cadets, Hendricks Regional Health, Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, and North Salem State Bank, Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, and Dunn Insurance Agency, Jill and Ian Bell's Expert Realtors.net and Global Construction Management, Silver Partners Electric Plus, Bassett Services Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail, and Bronze Partner Endeavor Communications. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're at halftime of this Senior Day game with your Cascade Cadets trailing the Western Boone Stars by a score of 30-15. It's a game in which Cascade got off to a good start, led 9-5 late in the first quarter before Adam Pratt hit a three-pointer at the buzzer to make it 9-8. Cascade did get the first 2 points of the second quarter to take an 11-8 lead, but it was almost all Western Boone from there as the Stars closed out the quarter on a 22-4 run spearheaded by 11 points off the bench by junior Connor Hull. 9 of those 11 points coming on three-point field goals, while Pratt hit a three-pointer himself. So of the 22 points that Western Boone scored in the quarter, 12 of them, a little over half, came on threes. Look at the individual scoring. First of all, for your Cascade Cadets, it has been a pretty good day scoring-wise for the seniors. Benson Walker has 9. Bryson Phillips has 4. But then only 2 more points on the rest of the team, those going to Mason Tharp. Meanwhile, much more balanced and much more prolific for the for Western Boone, as Connor Hull has 11, Spencer Wright has 7, Adam Pratt has 6, Peyton Young has 4, and Patrick Schellenberger has 2. So basically, in conclusion, what we're going to have to do pretty well is just play Benson Walker all of the second half, no matter what. No matter how much foul trouble he gets in. He has 2 right now. And, I think that's the only way we're going to have much of a chance to combat Western Boone getting inside. We have, when Walker plays, we have a lot of size advantage. But when he doesn't play, Western Boone has a little bit of not only a size advantage, but also a speed and jumping advantage. So they're able to get a lot of close-range shots. And one thing that enabled us to stay close and even have the lead for much of the first quarter is that Western Boone, fortunately for us, missed a lot of short-range shots. In the second half, not only did they hit a lot of those shots, but they had 4 successful three-pointers as well. So we're going to have to keep Walker inside to keep, Western Boone's inside game contained. And then, hopefully Walker scores a lot of points inside, commands enough defensive attention that, he leaves Phillips and Tharp and, maybe Du Bois and some of the others open for some three-point shots. And hopefully we hit a lot of them. And I think that's going to be our best shot to come back and win this game and give our seniors a send-off, a positive send-off here. But anyway, all season long, I was actually going to do this all the way back in the Monrovia football game back on August 24th, and now it's nearly 6 months later, and I'm finally getting around to it because there's always so much other stuff I want to talk about at halftime. But this being our last regular season broadcast for basketball of the season. Right now, since I've been with you, 3 years and roughly 100 games covering all sports, I've compiled a lot of memories already, and hopefully there are many more to come. I'm only 48 years old. I hope to be coming here for several more decades and hundreds, if not thousands, of more games. But right now, I'm going to share with you my top and bottom 5, memories as your commentator. And because I want to finish on a positive note, I'm going to start with my most painful memories. I'm going to go in reverse order. The 5th most painful memory as your commentator was opening day. It's November 7th of November 7th, 2017, the first girls basketball game of the season. We lost to Indian Creek by a score of 75-73, which was, ordinarily that wouldn't make the list, but the thing is, it was the season opener after we were coming off, the number 1 most painful loss on my list, the most painful memory on my list, which was the loss to South Putnam in the sectional a few months earlier. And, I was hoping we'd get off to a good start to the season, and I thought we were, for about 2.5 quarters or so, it looked like we were going to. We actually had a 15-point lead, but then amid a disastrous breakdown for the last quarter and a half, we lost 75-73. And if I remember correctly, Indian Creek got 21 offensive rebounds, and we committed 24 turnovers. So that was a painful game, just that we lost after leading by so much in the first game after that painful South Putnam loss. Then for the number 4, it was the boys' loss on senior day last year to Covenant Christian. That, we had a 2-point lead, and then despite both Dalton Du Bois at 6'5" and Benson Walker at 6'8" being in the game, we failed to grab a rebound on a missed free throw. It went out of bounds to Covenant Christian, who had a 2-point deficit with, I believe, 2.6 seconds left. And then the Warriors won the game with a 3-pointer at the buzzer. So that was very painful, especially because it was senior day. And then number 3, the August 24th last year, we lost to Monrovia in football 38-0. And normally that wouldn't make the list, but it was such a letdown because it followed that extraordinary win over Danville. And our kids, I think they just were on such an emotional high from that Danville game that when we lost so badly to Monrovia, it just took the wind out of everyone's sails. But we did come back to get 4 more wins this season. But it certainly felt very painful at the time, and certainly it was a huge emotional drop from the Danville game the week before. Then number 2, my 48th birthday last December 14th, our 71-27 girls basketball lost to Owen Valley. It wasn't merely that we lost, it was that we committed 33 turnovers. It was a very painful game for me to call. The boys at least were very competitive in the second half of that doubleheader, losing only 53 to 47 as Benson Walker had a then career high 20, then a career high 28. Then my number 1 most painful memory was the girls losing. It was February 3rd, 2017. The girls losing to South Putnam in the in our first sectional game, ending the season of very possibly the best team in school history. Is a team that had an excellent shot to make a very deep tournament run, especially since Triton Central, our likely first-round regional opponent, was upset in the sectional 2, and they were, I believe, ranked number 2 or 3 in the state in our class. So certainly that was very painful, and it was a loss I didn't see coming at all, and I think we all just counted our chickens before they hatched. We had beaten South Putnam by 22 in the regular season on the road, but they apparently studied the game tape and came out with an outstanding game plan that we seemed unprepared for, and I think we were overconfident and got down by 11 in the first quarter, and that's what we lost by. We came back and tied it in the third quarter, at 27-29, but seemed to run out of gas in doing so. South Putnam closed out the third quarter on a 13-4 run, and then we never got closer than 5 in the fourth quarter. So that was very painful because I really anticipated us, I really anticipated us making a run at the Class 2A state championship, and we didn't even win a tournament game. But now let's look at my 5 best memories. Number 5, last May the 4th, after Cascade had lost the first game of a doubleheader in baseball to Danville, 13-1, we came back and won the second game by a score of 9-5. So that was an incredible rebound for our kids, and it's great when we get a win over Danville in any sport. Number 4, it was when the girls, on December 16th, 2017, when the girls beat South Putnam 55-22, causing me to lose both my voice and my mind. And it was the first time we had played South Putnam since they eliminated us from the tournament the season before. So it was great psychologically to get that win, and I still think it's a very important win in that rivalry, because without that win we would currently be on a 5-game losing streak to South Putnam. They've beaten us in our 3 games since then. So I'm glad we at least got that win in that game. Now back to action here. And we start off with a lay-in there by Wright. And I will come back. I'll finish the list shortly. So Wright with 9 points there for Western Boone. And now Phillips fakes a 3 out to Sanders for 3. In and out. And rebound there by Wright, who's all over the place in this game. So Cascade in big trouble, down by 17 early in the third quarter now. And now Wright lays it in again. He has the game-high tying 11. He scores all 4 points to start off the third quarter. And I believe Cascade has taken a timeout, just a minute and 1 second into this quarter. So now let me finish my top 5 list here. My third favorite moment as a Cascade commentator, January 24th, 2017, when the girls trailed at Avon 39-19 in the second quarter, came back to win 64-61. That's another game where I pretty well lost my voice and my mind. And then number 2, January 18th, 2018 at Cloverdale, when our girls trailed the Lady Clovers 30-12 in the second quarter. We came back to win in double overtime, 79-73 behind a career-high 34 points by Olivia Bryant. And, that was a game in which there were only about 50 people there at the start. We started about 6:30. There was no JV game. It was originally going to be a varsity junior. It was originally going to be a boys-girls varsity doubleheader, but it was postponed twice because of snow, breaking up the doubleheader. So few people saw the game, but those who did really saw a treat. And I think we only had I don't think we had even 20 Cascade fans there. I'm sure it was hard for a lot of them. And it was really bad weather. I think it was like 0 degrees that day or something like that. So anyway, I'll get to my number 1 pick in just a moment. So I've got all but one of the picks here. So anyway, looks like Cascade is going to end the regular season home schedule with a bad loss, but we'll see. It's not over yet. I just mentioned a 20-point and 18-point comeback by the girls. So the boys are down by 19. So maybe and now a sloppy pass that was nearly stolen by Morton, but it's knocked out of bounds. So anyway, 6:37 to go here in the third quarter at Clayton. Western Boone 34, Cascade 15 on Senior Day. The Stars on a 26-4 run. So Walker with the ball behind the three-point line, inside to Ginter, out to Phillips. Now over to Tharp, now to Sanders, back to Tharp. Wide open three. He hit it. Yes, he hit it. Boy, did we ever need that. 34-18 now. Tharp with only 5 points in this game. He's our second leading scorer in the season. Now a three-pointer there by Western Boone. No good, out of bounds to Cascade. So let's capitalize on this, boys. And that, by the way, was the first successful three-point field goal for the Cadets in this game. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. They trail by 16. So they need to make up a little over a point a minute. So now inside to Walker, tipped there, but Walker gets it, fakes a three now, posts up, and it's stripped away, however, by Wright. He tries to take it, and he lays it in, but not, he no good on the layup attempt. So Tharp with the ball now, gets a little too aggressive, loses his dribble, but he gets it back. Now over to Ginter in the left corner, cross court now to Sanders. We got to get some points here. Tharp with the ball now, guarded by Stoudemeyer. Over to Ginter. Now, and we've got I think they're going to get a reach in there against Western Boone with 5:17 to go here in the third quarter. Western Boone on top by 16. So now inside to Walker, posts up, puts off the glass. He hits it after a few bounces, yes. Benson Walker, first Cascade player to get to double figures. He has 11. And it's a 5-0 Cascade run, cutting it to 14. It's bleak, but we're not out of it yet. Now a three-pointer by Wright, no good. Walker the rebound, gives it up to Tharp. 4:52 to go in the quarter. And now Tharp puts it up off the glass, but he traveled. So a missed opportunity there by the Cadets. Now Andrew McAtee coming in for Patrick Schallenberger. Andrew McAtee, possibly a distant relative of mine. And there's a Jonathan McAtee who played prominently in the JV game tonight, a sophomore for the Stars. And now Wright and over to Stoudemeyer. And now gives it over to a driving Young, puts it up, and he hits it. So that breaks the 5-0 run there by the Cadets. Peyton Young with 6 points now, and it's a 16-point Western Boone lead with a little over a quarter and a half to play here at Clayton on Senior Day. Now a foul against Cascade on Ginter. That's his second. 4:20 to go here in the third quarter. But yeah, Western Boone's speed and their aggressiveness attacking the boards, especially with the times Benson Walker's been out of the game, it's just been too much. And now McAtee tries to lay it in, no good. And a rebound there by Sanders. And so now Tharp with the ball coming off a pick by Walker. Now he finds Ginter inside, lays it in. So Cameron Ginter with the first, one of our seniors gets his first Senior Day points, cutting the lead to 14. 3:31 to go in the quarter now. And now ball tipped out of bounds. I didn't see the call. Now Walker sitting down, Hetler coming back in. Hopefully Walker will be in the game most of the rest of the way. Now in the last quarter and a half, I think with 2 fouls, he can afford to be pretty aggressive. Western Boone ball, Peyton Young to inbound. Now all the way in the back court to right. The Cadets in a zone. Looks like a 1-3-1 zone. I don't see that one too much. And now a drive to the basket, and there's a foul there as Morton was driving. Let's see if it counts as a shooting foul or not. It looks like Morton is going to the line for 2. And it's going to be on Phillips, his first, team second. Coming with 3:13 to go here in the third quarter. Morton's first one is up and good after a few bounces. He becomes the 6th star to score in this game. And Western Boone goes back up by 15. He hit them both, 38-22 your score. Cascade with 11 minutes to make up 16 points. And now Tharp drives, loses control, but gets it back. Pitches out to Phillips. Back out to Tharp for 3. No good. And a nice job chasing the rebound down by Hull. And now we got a foul there against Western Boone. I think it's gonna call a charge. Cascade with the ball now. Sanders. And now it's Western Boone comes over with the steal, and it's laid in there by McAtee. Andrew McAtee becoming the 7th star to score tonight. So my possible long-lost relative gets his first points of the game, and it's a game-high 18-point lead for the Cadets. And I'll tell you, I'm 5'10". Most of the men in my family are 5'8" to 6 feet. On my father's side of the family. On my father's side of the family, my mother's side of the family is a little taller. But yeah, Andrew McAtee is 6'4", so if he is a relative of mine, there is Tharp hits the first one, the foul, by the way, going against Hull. But if Andrew McAtee is a relative of mine, I'd like to know where he got those height genes. Because 6'4" is much taller than any McAtee that I know of. Although my son Liam, I think, is going to be very tall. He has a lot of height genes on his mother's father's side of the family. He's 13 years old, and he's I think 5'6" or 5'7", about 7 or 8 inches taller than I was at the same age. I think he's going to be well over 6 feet. But anyway, now into the last 10 minutes of the game, things looking bleak for the Cadets. They trail by 17. And now Morton goes to the basket, and we got a foul here. (40-23) Western Boone lead. Western Boone leads. Disappointing senior day here for the Cadets. Now drive to the basket by Wright, and he draws the foul here with 1:38 to go here in the third quarter. 40-23 Stars over Cadets. Foul on Walker. That's his third. Might as well leave him in at this point. No good by Wright. But, you know, he very well, I think he and Hull would get a tie for my MVP in this game for Western Boone. Each leads the team with 11, but it's more than just the points that have impressed me tonight. There is Wright hits the second one, giving him a game-high 12. So Walker gives it back to Tharp, brings it past midcourt. Walker tries to set a pick, and now we got a whistle here. So that's going to be on Andrew McAtee. So now a high-risk pass there by Du Bois, but Phillips comes away with it. And now a near steal attempt knocked out of bounds to Cascade with 1:24 to go here in the third third quarter. Western Boone on top by 18 points. Now, and they tried to find Benson down low. They do, but he's double-teamed. Pitches to a driving Hetler, who lays it in. Yes. Good move. Hetler's probably going to be counted on to be the go-to guy in the middle next season. And but now a wide open three-pointer, no good, however. Phillips the rebound, and he's hacked by McAtee. So Andrew McAtee, my possible long-lost relative, being very aggressive tonight. He has 3 fouls now, 2 of them coming in just about a minute apart. I'm trying to get a good look at his face. He doesn't bear a particularly strong resemblance to anybody I know, but anyway. So now Hetler with the ball, drives to the baseline, pitches. Oh, but his pass is stolen there by Morton as he was trying to, Hetler was trying to save it. Now Morton takes it all the way in. Darn. And the Stars now with a game high 8. Well, hold on. Now, that's a game high tying 18-point lead now. And now a ball knocked out of bounds to Western Boone, 29.3 seconds to go. So the Cadets apparently on their way to another senior day loss. Counting the big 3 sports, football, boys basketball, and girls basketball, this will make 6 consecutive senior day losses for Cascade. Basically losing all 3 of those senior day games each of the last 2 school years. Hopefully we'll reverse that fortune next season, next school year. So 9 seconds to go now. Hull inside to Young, turnaround, puts it up, and he draws the foul with 3 seconds to go. It's going to be on Phillips. That's his second, team 5th. Peyton Young going to the free throw line. He has 6. He hit it. So now Sanders coming in for Tharp. Tharp, a modest 6 points tonight, only half of his average. So Young hits them both, and now Cascade, and I don't think that he got it off in time. Nevertheless, it didn't go anyway. But anyway, your Cascade Cadets down to their last home quarter of the season, trailing the Western Boone Stars by a score of 45-25 here on AudioSportsOnline.com. We'll be back with the conclusion after these words from our sponsors. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. the official health provider to the Cadets, Hendricks Regional Health. Diamond Partners, Best Way Drywall, the North Salem State Bank. Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, Dunn Insurance Agency, Jill and Ian Bell's ExpertRealtors.net, and Global Construction Management. Silver Partners, Electric Plus, Bassett Services Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail, and Bronze Partner Endeavor Communications. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're about to start the last home quarter of the season for Cascade basketball on Senior Day, having a very painful night, losing to the Western Boone Stars by a score of 45-25. It's a game in which Cascade started off with an 11-8 lead early in the second quarter, but then Western Boone went on a 26-4 run and have been in firm control of the game ever since. So hopefully we'll at least finish, on a strong note. And now we got looked like a kicked ball violation there against Western Boone, against Connor Hull. Now inside to Walker down low, puts it up off the glass, and he hits it. Benson Walker has overall had a good Senior Day game. He has not only a team high, but a game high 13. But, Western Boone really took advantage of it when he was on the bench with foul trouble in that pivotal second quarter. So now Morton fakes the three, then pitches over to Stoudemeyer. Western Boone with an 18-point lead. McAtee for three now. In and out. And rebound there by Sanders. Now Sanders tries to set Walker tries to set a pick. Now gives it over to, now Walker gets it. Three-pointer, and he hits it. He swishes it. Benson Walker with a game-high 16, cutting the lead to 15, so Cascade does get the first 5 points of the quarter. Not likely they're going to come back and win it, but at least they're going out with a fight, which, we got to, get in the habit of doing, as we head into the playoffs. And now pass goes out of bounds, so now Cascade, after a 5-0 run, has the ball with 6:49 to go, so still a chance to at least make it interesting here. Our girls nearly made an incredible comeback against Monrovia. If I remember correctly, we cut a 13-point lead to 1 in about 3 minutes. Ended up losing the game by 3. That was back early in the regular season, and then Monrovia ended up eliminating us from the tournament out at Cloverdale, 50-47. A game in which we actually tied the Lady Bulldogs 3 times in the fourth quarter. The last time coming on a 3-point play by sophomore Juliana Schmidt with 20 seconds to go. So now back to action here. Tharp brings it past midcourt, guarded by Stoudemeyer. Over to Sanders at the left perimeter. He looks for a man. Now inside to Walker at the free throw line. Now, he tried to miscommunication with Walker, and it's a steal by McAtee. Now McAtee pitches out to Stoudemeyer behind the 3-point line. So missed opportunity again for the Cadets. Oh, I know. How could that not be a foul? Oh, my God. That was Stoudemeyer pushed his man away with one hand. I can't believe that wasn't a foul. That was a Bob Knight, a triple technical moment there. And now Walker puts it in again. He has 18. So it's a 7-0 Cascade run, pushing it down to 13. Now Stoudemeyer takes it in. No good. And Walker gets the rebound. He better be careful. And he pitches down to Stoudemeyer. Now cross court to Phillips. And now nearly stolen away by Stoudemeyer. And now, I'll tell you, now there's a timeout there as Cascade has cut it from 20 to 13 with 5:41 to go. It's a 7-0 run to start the fourth quarter. But I'll tell you, that is, if you listen to me regularly, in one school year, I don't think I can count on more than one hand the times that I complain about the officiating, but that is one of the worst no calls I have ever seen. Where you can watch. We have fortunately it was videotaped, But yeah, Stoudemeyer clearly stuck a hand out and pushed, his defender away. Unbelievable. I mean, I can't imagine that, that both referees missed that. Fortunately, Western Boone ended up not scoring on that possession. So now inside to Tharp, and now I believe it could be a reach in either by Stoudemeyer or on Cruz Washington. Yes, don't give up indeed, Glad this, and now inside to Walker, and he was fouled there by McAtee, so that'll be McAtee's fourth. So now Benson going to the free throw line. He already has a game high 18. Chance to make it 20 if he hits both of these, and that would cut the lead to 11 with 5:44 to go. And now Cascade is in the bonus. Come on, Benson, hit both of these. Make it count. Go out in a blaze of glory here. He hit it. So Walker with a game high 19 now. And it's an 8-0 Cascade run, cutting it from 20 to 12. Still 5:44 to play. And he hits the second one, so Walker with 20 now. Stoudemeyer with the ball now. Over to right. Cadets on a 9-0 run. So now got Schallenberger with the ball. Over to Stoudemeyer. Now drive to the basket. No good, but Wright the rebound, and he puts it back up. No good, and Walker the rebound. So come on, we got to capitalize. So now Walker with the ball, drives to the basket, but he traveled. 5:09 to go. Boy, if he had hit that, it would have made it a single-figure game, and it would have been an 11-0 run. Nevertheless, Cascade doing a lot of good things here down the stretch. And now a steal there by Ginter, and he was he traveled. I thought they were going to say he was fouled from behind by Schallenberger. I guess he got a little too aggressive, trying to bring the ball back up the court. So 4:58 to go. Cascade trailing by 11 on Senior Day. They're on a 9-0 run. So now inside to Washington. Schallenberger now there near the left corner, back out to Washington. Got a tip there near a steal. And now wide open to right, fakes a three, drives to the baseline, pitches out. Stoudemeyer fakes a three, free throw line jumper now, and he swishes it. So Cortez Stoudemeyer becoming the 8th star to score. And it's a 13-point lead, for Western Boone. Now Walker with the ball at the free throw line, posts up. Over to Phillips. Now over to Tharp. Got to get some offense going here. Now cross court to Phillips. Fakes a three, drives the baseline. And let's see what the call is. Okay, so Phillips was fouled. That was on Washington, his second. Teammate. 4:05 to go. We trail by 13. Phillips had 4 points in the first quarter for Cascade, but none since. Playing his last home game. In and out. Walker nearly got the rebound, but Hull ended up getting it. Foul on Sanders there. And now a Hitler coming in and Ginter sitting down. 3:59 to go. So Cascade just under half a quarter to make up 13 points. And now Washington in the lane, pitches out there. And now out to Washington there. And now a free throw line jumper, no good. And now the ball tipped over there to Wright, who gives it over there to Washington. Now down on the baseline to Schallenberger, and it's and I think they're going to get him for a push-off. 3:39 to go. It's going to be a foul away from the ball then on Stoudemeyer. So Cascade down by 13 with 3:39 to go. But okay, now for my all-time favorite moment in Cascade, in my 3 years of Cascade commentary. Sorry I didn't get it all in one segment. But anyway, number one, August 17th last year, opening day of the football season. Cascade coming off a 3-7 season with a sophomore-dominated team, with the bulk of whom are now juniors. They played Danville, who's coming off a trip to the semi-state. Although hit hard by graduation, they still opened the season ranked number 6 in the state in Class 3A, and had and were debuting marquee quarterback Ben Slayton, who had transferred from Plainfield. And anyway, Cascade hangs tough the whole game, trailing 21-20 with the ball on the 11 in the final seconds. Dylan Kottkamp finds A.J. Sanders on the left side of the end zone with 3 seconds to go. And I lose my voice and my mind, and now we got a steal there by Wright, who lays it in. So Spencer Wright with the game-high 14. He's my MVP for Western Boone, and they push it back up to 15 after Cascade had cut it to 11. But anyway, so now Phillips at the baseline. Pitches over to Walker, posts up there on Schallenberger. Turns around, jumper, no good. Rebound there by Young. 3 minutes to go. It looks like Western Boone has this one pretty well in the bag now. Stoudemeyer with the ball, guarded by Sanders. If Cascade still, wants to, hang on to any hope of winning this game, they're probably going to have to foul soon if they don't get a steal. Cascade, letting Western Boone run off a lot of the clock. Coach Du Bois getting fairly animated there on the sidelines. And now a near steal there, and by Walker. And now, Western Boone has run off about 45 seconds now, and finally Schallenberger fouled in the act of shooting there with 2:16 to go. So that's on Sanders. So Schallenberger going to the line with 2:16 to go. Well, if Cascade still had not conceded the game, they really should have fouled at least 20, 25 seconds earlier, if they didn't get a steal, of course. So now Schallenberger hits it. He has 3 now. 8 starts have scored compared to 5 cadets, and it's a 50-34 lead for the Stars. He missed the second one. Walker gets the rebound, gives it up to Tharp. Comes off a pick there. Now over to AJ. Now tries to feed Benson. Posts up, puts it up. No good after a few bounces, and Hull comes away with the rebound. Under 2 minutes to go now. Nice behind the back dribble there by Young, and now a nice steal attempt there, but Young manages to hold on to it. Pitches back to the omnipresent Spencer Wright, and now he drives, and I think they're going to get Du Bois for a reach in with 1:38 to go. Dane Du Bois, younger brother of Dalton Du Bois, who graduated last year, now a freshman playing for the Anderson University Ravens. So now Ginter and Tharp coming in for Tharp. Du Bois sitting down, and now so I didn't see who else sat down for Cascade. Spencer Wright trying to add to his team high 14. He does. First one's good, and the lead goes back up to 17. Western Boone led by 20 at the end of the third quarter. Cascade made it interesting by scoring the first 9 points of the fourth quarter, but, was unable to get any closer. He hit them both. 18-point lead, 1:38 to go. This is the last regular season broadcast. We will be bringing you whatever tournament games that Cascade has. Now a three-pointer, no good, and rebound there by a newcomer, Caleb Freeman. And now a steal attempt there by Tharp, but he commits the foul there on Wright. So 9 fouls by each team now, 1:22 to go in the game. So Western Boone will get its 9th win of the season, already having their winningest season in 3 years. Spencer Wright, how exciting it is for Stars fans. They have that young man back for one more year, and he hit that one again too. So Spencer Wright now piling up points at the free throw line late in the game here. He has 17. Benson Walker has a game-high 20. And by the way, it should be noted, all three, not counting Ross Stephenson, who symbolically received the opening tip of the game, the three Cascade players the three Cascade seniors have all scored. So Wright hit them both. He has 18 now. And the lead is now back up to 20, which is where it started. So Cascade scored the first 9 points of the quarter. Western Boone the last 9. So now Phillips with the ball. Over to Walker for 3. No good off the rim. Rebound there by Young. 1:08 to go. So Washington with the ball now, and he drives in. It penetrates, no good. Sanders the rebound, 47 seconds to go. Cascade still with at least one more shot to end the game on a positive note. So Phillips jump shot just beyond the free throw line, no good. And now Western Boone brings it up with a 20-point lead, 25 seconds to go. And now Phillips does commit the foul on Adam Pratt. And now Cascade looks like they're emptying the bench. I guess they'll give the seniors a chance to go out to a nice ovation with 19.6 seconds to go there as Pratt goes to the free throw line for the Stars. So Pratt swishes it. So now Western Boone and now the seniors now coming out to a nice ovation. Ginter, Phillips, and Walker. Overall, they've had good seasons. And Benson Walker greatly solidified his college recruiting stock. Phillips has had a nice season as our point guard, and Ginter with his first major season of basketball, having been primarily a football player, also did a good job for us, scoring a lot of, getting us a lot of rebounds and scoring some points on the inside. So now Pratt with 8 points, and after Cascade opened the fourth quarter with a 9-0 run, Western Boone has countered with an 11-0 run to take a game-high 22-point lead. 19.6 seconds to go. So Cascade now, Du Bois with the ball, bringing it past midcourt over to, and now a long three there is good. And 11 seconds to go now. And it was and now that's going to be it. So anyway, Western Boone dribbling out the clock. So disappointing senior day for Cascade, but they still have the tournament ahead of them, as well as one more regular season game. Your final score here tonight on senior day at Clayton: Western Boone 56, Cascade 37. We'll be back with a recap and a look ahead to our regular season finale and the tournament after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health, Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, and North Salem State Bank, Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, Dunn Insurance Agency, Jill, Andy, and Bell's ExpertRealtors.net, and Global Construction Management, Silver Partners Electric Plus, Bassett Services Heating and Cooling, and Clean Sensation Auto Detail, and Silver Partner Electric Plus, or Silver Partner Endeavor Communications, excuse me. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton for a final time tonight, where your Cascade Cadets have lost on Senior Day to the Western Boone Stars by a score of 56-7. It's a game in which Cascade surprisingly got off to an 11-8 lead early in the second quarter, as Benson Walker had 5 and Bryson Phillips had 4, two of our seniors who played their final home game today. But then, however, with Walker on the bench in foul trouble, Western Boone had superior size, and then they additionally used their superior speed and jumping ability to blitz us both from the inside, as Spencer Wright got several offensive rebounds and several easy points. And then Connor Hull came off the bench to make 3 successful three-point field goals, while Adam Pratt added another, as the Stars went on a 26-4 run spanning the second and third quarters. It was 9-8 Cascade at the end of one quarter, but 30-15 Western Boone at the half, and then 45-25 Western Boone at the end of 3 quarters. Cascade did make it interesting in the fourth quarter, starting off on a 9-0 run, but Western Boone countered that with an 11-0 run, and finally, before Colin Sanders, a JV player, hit a three-pointer in the final seconds to end the game on a positive note for us, bringing us to our final score of 56-37. A look at the individual statistics. First of all, for Cascade, Benson Walker having a very good senior day with 20 points, but we can only imagine, what might have happened had he not gotten, those 2 early fouls that put him on the bench. He might have had a career high. His career high came in his last home game, 29 last Friday against Eminence. He very well could have had that or more tonight had he stayed healthy, and Cascade very well might have been in the game, in the fourth quarter with a chance to pull it out. But nevertheless, a great game by Walker, 20 points. However, he was the only cadet to hit double figures tonight. Mason Tharp, a very distant second, with 6 points. Bryson Phillips, another senior, playing his final home game with 4. Colin Sanders. Let me start over. Benson Walker with 20. Mason Tharp with 6. Bryson Phillips playing his final home game with 4. Colin Sanders, not AJ, but Colin Sanders had 3. That was the three-pointer coming in the final seconds. Cameron Ginter also playing his final home game, another senior, with 2, and Gavin Hetler with 2. Meanwhile, for the Western Boone Stars, a very balanced effort. Spencer Wright, easily the player of the game for the Stars, 18 points. In addition, Connor Hull had 11 points, all of which came in the second quarter as part of that 26-4 run in which Western Boone took firm control of this game. Then in addition, Adam Pratt had 8 points, while Peyton Young also had 8. And in addition, Lucas Morton had 14. Patrick Schallenberger had 3. Cortez Stoudemeyer had 2. And Andrew McAtee had 2. So anyway, overall, a decent performance by Cascade. Not their best performance, but basically it's a game in which we just did not have the speed, first of all, to compete with Western Boone. They had very, very good speed, probably one of the 4 or 5 fastest teams we've played this season, and also superior jumping ability. And we were capable of countering it to at least a fair extent when Walker was in the game, but when he wasn't, we just didn't have any way to contain it. And it was, when Walker was on the bench with 2 fouls in the second quarter, that they went on that Western Boone began that 26-4 run, turning an 11-8 Cascade lead into a 35-15 Western Boone lead. And while we did make a valiant effort in that 9-0 run to start up the fourth quarter, our margin for error was 0. So disappointing way to end, disappointing senior day. And it's one of those things. I'm all for scheduling tough, but I really, I wouldn't mind if we started, for example, scheduling Eminence or Bethesda Christian for our senior days to increase the chance that our seniors go out, with a win in their last home game. But far be it for me to tell the team how to schedule, but I'd like to see, I'm tired of all these senior day losses, and I think, we're going to have plenty of senior day wins against good teams in the future, but, anyway, just a thought, because to me, it's got to be so much nicer to win than to lose in your last home game. And by the way, one thing I forgot to say earlier, it was a high risk move because I knew that without Walker in the game, we weren't going to have much chance to win. But I would have been in favor of leaving him in the game with 2 fouls there in the middle of the second quarter. It was a tough call, but I probably would have left him in, just feeling that we would have had virtually 0 chance to win without him. But anyway, when Benson was in, he did a great job, and really, I give the kids a B, maybe B- for their performance tonight. It was a fairly solid fundamental performance. We just didn't have the horses to compete with Western Boone, a far superior team in size and athletic ability when Benson was out of the game. So. But anyway, Cascade has one more game left to tune up for the playoffs. It will be next Tuesday night there on the west side of Indianapolis at Covenant Christian High School. I hope you all will get out there for that one to, let the kids know that you're, that you're cheering for them and, that you believe in them as they're doing their final tune-up for the playoffs. That game, by the way, scheduled to start at the usual start time of 7:30. So anyway, Covenant Christian currently is 9-10. They've taken a couple of steps down in recent years after they've had they're in danger of their 6th losing season in 8 years since they won their 2 sectional championships in 2009 and 2011. However, they do have a very promising young team. They have a core of 4 players who are non-seniors and who are all averaging at least 8 points a game. They are 6-foot junior Cameron Schurig, who leads the team with 15.8 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 3.2 assists a game. A 6-foot sophomore Trey Flat with 15.2 points and a team-high 2.6 assists per game. 6'4 junior Noah Hendrick with 9.2 points per game, and 6'1 freshman Brock Buckley with 8.3 points per game. So that's going to be a lot to contain. Although certainly, you look at we have 5 common opponents and 5 common opponents, and Covenant Christian generally has done better against those opponents, but not by an overwhelming amount. We both beat Bethesda Christian by 12 points, Cascade 65-53, and Covenant Christian 77-65. We both beat North Putnam by a big margin, though Covenant Christian by much more. Cascade beat North Putnam 71-42. That's a 29-point margin, while Covenant Christian beat North Putnam 96-45. That's a 51-point margin. Speedway beat Cascade 57-49, while Covenant Christian beat Speedway 69-66. Covington beat both of us, but beat us a lot worse. Covington. Boy, Covington and Covenant. Boy, that's a tongue twister whenever they play. But Covington beat us 72-33, but beat Covenant Christian 72-56, and finally Tri-West beat Cascade 75-43, but only beat Covenant Christian 72-68 in overtime. So anyway, Covenant Christian should be a slight favorite in that game, especially at home. But if we bring our A game, play as well as, we played against Bethesda Christian and Eminence, and if, we keep Benson out of foul trouble, I think we have a good shot to win that one and finish the regular season and head into the playoffs on a positive note. And certainly it would be nice to get a little revenge against Covenant Christian for the way they beat us last year. Like I said, we had a 2-point lead with, I think, 2.6 seconds to go. Both Benson and Dalton Du Bois failed to come away with the rebound on a missed free throw by Covenant Christian, and then the Warriors won the game with a three-pointer at the buzzer. So anyway, obviously we want to, slay that demon, and certainly a win would be a good way to do that. But there is another factor to consider, which is that Covenant Christian is in our sectional, and if we draw, I mean, this is not a huge chance, but certainly it's a fair chance. If we know that we're going to be playing Covenant Christian in our first playoff game, I don't know. I mean, certainly I want us to play well, but I don't know that we want to show them our whole game plan, And, especially if we come out and beat them, they'll probably, study that game tape and figure out how they're going to counter it in the playoffs. So that is something to keep in mind. But nevertheless, I do want us to go out and, bring our A game, even if it's not going to be playing our starters as many minutes as they normally would. But, then after that, we go to the sectional. Usually when I do my last regular season broadcast of the season, I preview our first tournament game. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do that right now because this is our last regular season broadcast, and the sectional pairings have not been announced yet. But that's going to happen on Sunday at 5 p.m. on ihsaatv.org. That's ihsaatv.org. It's the Indiana Boys High School tournament. It's the Indiana High School Boys basketball version of Selection Sunday. For many years, the NCAA tournament basketball pairings were one of my favorite days of the year, and they still are, just though not as much as in the glory days of college basketball here in Indiana. But, especially now that I'm commentating Cascade, I look so forward to the pairing shows for football and for boys and girls basketball to see where our kids are going to be playing. We know where it's going to be, South Putnam for the boys sectional, but to see against whom they're going to be playing and on what day. But anyway, a look at the other teams. Monrovia is probably the best team in the sectional, but certainly not great at 13-6, and really not having played a very tough schedule. They really loaded up on a lot of cupcakes. I mean, they've played, let's see. I mean, for example, 4 of their wins have come against Class 1A teams. Only 2 of ours have. So, certainly that's a team we're going to be capable of beating, if we bring our A game. And then Covenant Christian at 9-10, South Putnam at 12-6, and again playing a much weaker schedule than we do. Cloverdale at 8-12, and North Putnam at 6-15. And so, we and see how we did during those against those teams during the season. We lost to Monrovia 64-35, but that was very early in the season. And I feel like we're a lot better now and would have a much better chance to win that game today. We did beat North Putnam, so we have beaten one team in our sectional, and that was by a big margin, 71-42. We lost to Cloverdale only by 1 point, 53-52. That was part of that boys-girls doubleheader we brought you here back on January the 11th. And we lost to South Putnam, not by a whole lot, 62-52. And we haven't played Covenant Christian yet. So, I think if we bring our A game, and especially if we get that first round bye, win our first game, and then go to the sectional championship game and play a team that's playing its third game of the week, I really think we're going to have a fighting chance. This sectional really, I think, is really up for grabs this year. I mean, some teams, probably Monrovia has the best shot, but, I think Cascade has, at least, a 5-10% chance to win that sectional, or at least make a deep run in it. So, and I don't think anybody, Monrovia, they might have maybe a 22, maybe 23, 25% chance to win. So, that, you spread out the chances of each team to win. It's going to be relatively even. So, anyway, then that will be out. Their first tournament game will either be a week from Tuesday or a week from Friday out at South Putnam High School in Greencastle, just 15 miles down the road. Just take US 40 till you get to the intersection of US 231, and it's right there on the southeast corner. So hope you all will get out there on the west side of Indianapolis Tuesday night for the regular season finale against Covenant Christian, and then for the tournament game either a week from Tuesday or a week or 2 weeks from tonight out at South Putnam. And you can find out, we'll find out on the tournament selection show this Friday, this Sunday at 5 p.m. there on ihsaatv.org. So still at least 2 cadet games to be played this year, hopefully more. But being that this is senior day, I want to give the last word to the seniors who just played their final home game today, to Benson Walker, to Cameron Ginter, to Bryson Phillips, to Ross Stephenson, who symbolically received the opening tip tonight, even though he wasn't completely healthy. It was good to see him in uniform at least, and certainly he would have added a lot to the team this season. And finally, to Justin Hurst, who also missed the entire season because of injury. To those 5 young men who spent about 10 years working their way up through youth basketball in the Mill Creek system, pouring in thousands of hours of blood, sweat, and tears, and probably a few injuries along the way. Thank you so much. We love you, and we're very loyal to the program through a transitional time in our period as we're moving up the ladder to become an annual state championship contender here in Class 2A. And, when we have greater success in the future, you will be part of it because you worked with us and helped us move up the ladder. So that, we will, achieve, great powerhouse success in the future. And without your contributions, we wouldn't have been able to do it, or at least, as easily as we will do it later. So thanks again. We love you. We'll miss you. And, you will always be part of the cadet family. And I'm pretty much going to repeat that whenever we have our game when we're eliminated from the tournament, which hopefully won't be for at least a few weeks. But nevertheless, I got to say it on Senior Day too, because this is their night. So thanks again, once again, Benson Walker, Cameron Ginter, Bryson Phillips, Ross Stephenson, and Justin Hurst, our 5 seniors who were honored today for their tremendous service to Cascade basketball. So once again, your final score here tonight in our last regular season broadcast, Western Boone 56, Cascade 37. The Cadets fall to 5-16, while the Stars rise to 9-11. Well, this concludes our broadcast. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I cordially invite you to do so again either a week from Tuesday or 2 weeks from tonight out at South Putnam High School in Greencastle as your Cadets open tournament play. Until then, for audiosportsonline.com, this is Lec Zorn reminding you there is a difference only you can make.